We are less than a week away from Disney's woke Snow White film being released in theaters, and I cannot wait for the complete and total disaster that this is going to be. We just got confirmation from Disney that Rachel Zegler is completely out of control.
The budget of the movie is probably never ever going to be made back up because of the huge backlash.
Disney's live-action Snow White is shaping up to be a major disappointment, with early projections painting a grim picture. The $270 million remake is expected to open with just $50 million, a far cry from past Disney blockbusters. For comparison, The Lion King debuted at nearly $200 million, Beauty and the Beast pulled in $175 million, and even The Little Mermaid, despite its controversies, managed almost twice what Snow White is tracking for. So, what went wrong? From the beginning, the film has been plagued by controversy. Lead actress Rachel Zegler openly criticized the 1937 animated classic, calling it outdated and sexist while mocking its love story. In a drastic departure from tradition, Disney replaced the iconic seven dwarfs with a diverse group of magical creatures, changing nearly everything except what audiences actually wanted. Behind the scenes, reports suggest Disney has little confidence in the film. Marketing efforts have been scaled back, and instead of a grand Hollywood premiere, Zegler was sent to a secluded castle in Spain to perform for influencers, without even her co-star Gal Gadot. Adding fuel to the fire, Zegler's outspoken remarks have alienated fans. She has clashed with Disney executives, ignored advice to dial down her rhetoric, and remained defiant in her political stance. Industry insiders describe her as increasingly difficult to manage. Now, as the film tracks toward a week debut, Zegler appears to be blaming backlash on conservative audiences rather than acknowledging that fans may simply not want a radically reimagined Snow White. The warning signs are everywhere. Unlike past Disney films, which opened pre-sales a month in advance, Snow White tickets only became available 2 weeks before release, a move analysts see as a red flag. Many believe Disney itself expects the film to flop. Snow White isn't just another underperforming remake, it's a case study in what happens when a studio loses touch with its audience. Could this be Disney's biggest flop yet? We're about to find out.
They did the premiere, but didn't allow anyone to actually talk to Rachel Zegler and ask her any questions because they were so frightened of her putting her foot in her mouth once again. Quite frankly, it doesn't look like it's done anything.
Yeah. Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Oh gosh, Douglas, this remake is reportedly to have cost more than $200 million, and Disney seemed too scared to properly promote this movie.
Ultimately, Snow White isn't the disaster the internet was hyping it up to be, but it's not good either. It's clunky, it's uninspired adaptation that has a few redeeming qualities, but it fails to justify its own existence. I wouldn't rush to the theaters for this one. I'd say maybe wait for Disney Plus. Maybe.
It seems that Disney is finally coming to terms with the fact that the Snow White movie is going to be a complete and utter disaster for them because they've canceled their UK Snow White premiere amidst backlash and fears of negative Rachel Zegler press.
Originally, they weren't going to use real dwarves and they were going to try to do CGI. There's all sorts of weird feminist tropes in the movie where, she makes them clean up instead of her cleaning up. There's all sorts of stuff. Plus, she had a mega anti-Trump meltdown where she called half of America garbage people and dangerous and aggressive and all this kind of stuff. So make sure that you do not give your money to see this movie in the theater, okay?
The latest Snow White live-action trailer just dropped, and if the backlash from the first one was bad, this is a full-blown disaster. Somehow, Rachel Zegler and Disney have managed to make things even worse. Let's take a step back. The original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs wasn't just another movie. It was the movie that built Disney. In 1937, Walt Disney bet everything, his reputation, his company, his future, on this one animated film. People called him crazy, insisting that no one would sit through a full-length cartoon. But he proved them all wrong. Snow White became a historic box office sensation, won an Oscar, plus 7 miniature ones, and cemented Disney as the king of animation. Now, nearly a century later, we have a remake that nobody asked for, led by an actress who seems to have spent more time trashing the original than promoting her own film. Fans are outraged, the audience is rejecting it outright, and the numbers don't lie. This latest trailer is already one of the most disliked in YouTube history. So, what went wrong? How did we go from a beloved masterpiece to a remake that's being ridiculed and ratioed into oblivion? Why is Disney so desperate to connect this doomed project to the legacy of the original? And most importantly, why does Rachel Zegler seem so determined to tear down the very movie that's giving her a paycheck? Today, we're breaking it all down, from Disney's desperate marketing tactics to a backlash that just won't die. Let's take a deep dive into Snow White's third trailer and the disaster unfolding in real time.
Things aren't going too good for Disney and Ms. Zegler. The most hated movie ever. Or the most disliked movie ever. And remember, YouTube is the biggest platform in the world. It is mainstream. It is what most people watch in this world.
Why Disney is skipping the UK premiere. And it says, according to sources, Disney is concerned about backlash tied to the changes made in the film, as well as the public perception of lead actress Rachel Zegler. God, she's so incredibly unlikable, and she makes it worse and worse.
Because you have a lot of people that are like this, that are huge Rachel Zegler fans that hate Gal Gadot, right? New poster for Snow White right here with Gal Gadot in the background. There's Snow White. There's the evil queen. Rachel Zegler, Gal Gadot. This person, I fixed it. I was bored. So basically just Photoshop Gal Gadot out of the picture. Who reposted this on their fucking Instagram? Rachel Zegler.
She's already started. I don't know if you saw that Rachel was in Tokyo by herself. Did you see that? Starting the press tour. So she was in Tokyo. She sang a song or two. She did the carpet walk, whatever you want to call it. And but she was by herself. There's no evil queen anywhere to be found.
It's a human.
What did you think I was?
Nothing.
Ghost.
What is this? I hate it here. But as the film's release date draws closer and closer, I wanted to weigh in on why I believe that this movie will be yet another catastrophic failure for the company. And I think it's important to highlight why this is extra sad, given that the 1937 Snow White, the original Snow White, is really the animation, the full-length animation, that put Disney on the map in this capacity.
Said, hey look guys, we're cancelling this film. And that is crazy to think about, and we all know why so many people dislike this film, the direction Disney decided to take Snow White in, because it is 2025, so naturally she has to be a boss girl character. We've never seen it before. It's groundbreaking stuff, and you've got to give Disney some credit there, because they're really doing something nobody is tired of. Not at all.
My name's Snow White, and I'm here to say hi, IMDb. We are here at D23 Expo,
And we cannot wait for you to watch Snow White.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh, my bad. No problem.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Hey!
Money, please. Money, please.
if I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed. I had no idea what I was auditioning for when I auditioned, so it's a kind of a hilarious question to say, like, what drew you to the material? Is that, like, I didn't realize that I was reading lines with Dopey. It said, like, Jeff and Amy were reading lines, and then our director Mark Webb on Zoom was like, and then Dopey's gonna look at you and whistle. And I took a pause and realized what I was auditioning for. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part.
When it got announced, it was a huge thing that was like trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were angry. And so it was like,
those people.
Very much this, yes, it was
the
this
people
awakening.
That we need to educate, the people that we need to love into awareness.
Love them in the right direction.
All right, folks, let's talk about the Disney drama that's sending shockwaves through the entertainment world this August. Disney is in serious trouble across the board, but the biggest disaster? Lucasfilm and the mess surrounding Snow White, 2025. Now, let's get into Rachel Zegler. She was set to be the next Snow White, but from day one, that casting stirred up a hornet's nest. Whether it was concerns about her acting, her attitude, or something else entirely, the backlash never let up. But the real bombshell? Behind the scenes, things were reportedly even worse. Director Mark Webb allegedly called Zegler toxic and difficult to work with. That's a pretty damning accusation, especially in Hollywood, where reputations can make or break a career. When a director publicly struggles with a lead actress, you have to ask, was this just bad casting, or is there something deeper going on at Disney? One thing's for sure, when internal clashes like this start making headlines, it's a sign that the studio is losing control. And with everything else going wrong at Disney, Snow White might just be the next big flop in a string of failures.
Back in November, you had a message to us. You told us to sort of go for ourselves.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself. Go yourself. Is that clear?
Why? It's a serious question. It's a serious question.
Yeah.
Why did you say that, and what did you mean by that?
Well, with respect to freedom of speech, I think it is important to have a global free speech platform where people from a wide range of opinions can voice their views. And in some cases, there were advertisers who were insisting on censorship. At the end of the day, if there is censorship and money or free speech and losing money, we're going to pick the second. That's again a choice of an advertiser to appear next to content that they think fits with their brand. That's totally cool. What is not cool is insisting that there can be no content that they disagree with on the.
Now, let's get to the heart of the controversy, Disney's approach to diversity, equity, and inclusion, DI. Most people support fairness and equal opportunity, but when it comes to Rachel Zegler's casting, many are questioning whether Disney prioritized checking boxes over finding the best actress for the role. For fans who believe storytelling and character should come first, it's been a tough pill to swallow. Then, the trailer dropped, and things completely exploded. The backlash was swift and brutal. Fans rejected the reimagined Snow White, and social media lit up with criticism. It became one of those cultural moments where you could feel the outrage in every post, comment, and reaction video. Disney's response? Damage control. In a shocking move, the studio reportedly decided to cut ties with Rachel Zegler entirely. Not only was she removed from Snow White, but she was also quietly dropped from other major Disney projects, including a planned Pirates of the Caribbean film and a high-profile Pixar movie set to compete with Shrek 5. Just like that, Rachel's future with Disney faded into dust, leaving the studio scrambling to pick up the pieces of yet another PR disaster.
I never wanted to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. When I tell you that it's hard, I just mean to be inside my brain. And I'm there 24/7, I can't get out of it. It's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay.
Carla Taus, however you pronounce it, she is going to be replacing Rachel Zegler in Paddington 3. And basically they're saying it's still due to the SAG-AFTRA strikes. However, there are some who will speculate that it is because of, her being very unlikable.
Not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
You're fired!
I mean, think about it.
Think about it. Going from a rising star to getting the boot? That's got to sting, especially when you thought you were about to be part of something huge. Disney's decision here speaks volumes about the pressure they're under. It's a tightrope walk between sticking to their creative vision and keeping their audience happy. And right now, they seem more focused on damage control than anything else. But let's talk about what really drives Hollywood: money. Rachel Zegler was reportedly on the verge of signing a massive multi-million-dollar contract with Disney, one that would have locked her into multiple projects and set her up for a long career with the studio. This deal wasn't just about Snow White. It was supposed to include a Pirates of the Caribbean film, a major Pixar project, and more. Then came the backlash. The Snow White trailer landed with a thud, audiences revolted, and suddenly, Disney hit the brakes. They pulled the plug on her roles, and now the big question is, was her contract even finalized? Or did Disney manage to cut ties before committing to a long-term deal? One thing's for sure, this isn't just a PR nightmare for Zegler, it's a major financial blow. And for Disney, it's yet another costly misstep in an already rough year.
Is because of the Snow White backlash and studios not wanting to hire her given the fact that it might result in their movie not making a whole lot of money at the box office.
Because you'd like to remind people verbally that being in the spotlight doesn't absolve you of your humanity, that you're allowed to have human moments.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily do what you want it to do, and it fuels them more.
I never wanted to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Every time that a celebrity gets like one DM that says KYS, they're like, I'm getting death threats! Someone save me, but not a prince!
I'm gonna be honest, guys, like I'm a very mentally ill piece of human right now, and so it's very hard for me to want to share that.
This kind of uncertainty doesn't just disappear, it's messy. And now, Rachel Zegler is gearing up to take Disney to court, claiming she was wrongfully fired. That's a huge legal battle, and it's not just about contracts or money, it's personal. She feels betrayed, and with her career suddenly in limbo, she's facing the harsh reality of Hollywood's highs and lows. One minute, you're on top of the world. The next, you're starting from scratch. To make things even worse, Disney pulled Zegler from performing at the Snow White World premiere, a major snub. And it's not just about the premiere. Disney is now scrambling to recast her roles in other projects, completely reshuffling their lineup. On top of that, they've reportedly scrapped plans for a Snow White sequel, seemingly cutting their losses and moving on. But the trouble doesn't stop there. Early test screenings of Snow White haven't been promising. Audience reactions have been lukewarm at best, and with more screenings on the way, it's clear Disney is trying to salvage what they can. Fans are questioning the creative decisions behind the film, and many are asking the bigger question: how does Disney choose its stars? Zegler's situation isn't looking like an isolated incident. It's part of what some call a pattern of mismanagement at Disney. Is the studio focused on finding the best talent, or are they more concerned with filling quotas? That debate is only getting louder, and it's putting major pressure on Disney leadership. CEO Bob Iger is now in the hot seat, reportedly holding emergency meetings to figure out how to fix these ongoing issues before they spiral even further. This isn't just about Snow White anymore. It's about Disney's entire approach to casting, filmmaking, and audience engagement. What do you think? Did Disney make the right call, or did they completely drop the ball? And how do you see this impacting future Disney projects? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like and subscribe to Woke Informant for more updates on all things entertainment. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.